Welcome to DVC Alumni, where every story inspires the next. The Alumni podcast where you get to hear the inspiring stories and transformation that DVC has had to offer its alumni. And now, on with the episode. And we are live, and I want to start. I'm actually very excited about this. So let's start with having you two introduce yourselves. Let's start with you.
Okay. My name is Itzel Gutierrez. I am a DVC alumni as well as a San Jose State alumni. That's pretty much about me.
And a Diamante Scholar.
And a Diamante Scholar as well as a Puentista.
Okay. And you're also on the foundation board, the DVC Foundation board. So you got lots of stuff. We got to make sure you get your LinkedIn caught up on that. And
I'm Cindy Gutierrez. I'm a Cycle 28 Puentista, and I'm also a Diamante Scholar.
Excellent. Okay, cool. So let's start with talking about growing up. Where did you guys grow up?
We grew up here in Concord. Mm-hmm. Our whole life has been Concord. So, yeah.
Where'd you go to high school at?
We both went to Genesee Valley High School.
That's where I went.
Oh, really?
Long time before you, class of 79. So it's just way, way before you. But yeah, what was it like growing up in Concord?
It wasn't bad. It was normal. I feel like our parents tried really hard to not let us see like the bad side of it, like how people think that Concord is like, like high like violence or like gang stuff. We never saw that side of it. Mm-hmm. So I don't have any bad things to say about that. But it was really like relaxing, chill.
Okay. Did you have any memories? I mean, was it cool, bad, awesome? What?
No, I think my childhood was just like, it was chill. I had like no bad memories. Thankfully, we never got to see any violent stuff, like she said, or anything like that.
Yeah.
So you're Nation Valley High School, and you went there also, right? So what got you here? I mean, obviously, it's proximity, but like, what made you decide to come here?
For me, it was more like I did not know what I was going to do after college. Well, I would say the first 4 years of high school, I was set on like nursing school and everything. And then my dad got in a work accident. And so he got like a cut in his calf. And so he had to be like on bed rest and he needed someone to clean his wound. I could not do it. I couldn't do it. And I was like, I don't think nursing is for me. Mind you, this was me going into my senior year of high school and like everyone is supposed to submit their applications and get ready for college and everything. And I was like, what am I going to do? If nursing is not my thing, what am I going to do? So I spent the majority of my senior year going through different careers. I switched back and forth, like dental hygienist or like a teacher. And I was like, I really don't know. And my dad was like, why don't you pick a career that's like developing? Like it's going to be like big in a few years. Maybe it's not big right now. And so he was like, you love being on social media. Like, why don't you do like marketing or something like that? And so then I was set on that. I chose business marketing. And I didn't really know how I was going to navigate through DVC because that was something new. Like, I didn't know how to reach out to like a counselor, like, oh, help me. But luckily that's when during my Spanish class, we had lunch after and our teacher was like, hey, we're going to have people from DVC come and like talk during lunch in my classroom. She was like, it's like a program if you're like navigating through careers. So if you want to stay and like listen to it. And I stayed and it was the Diamante Scholars. Mm-hmm. And I signed up and then we had to do like interviews and they chose who like they wanted in their program. So I was very nervous. I was like, I feel like I'm applying to a job basically.
We kind of are. I mean,
I am,
it's not like you're kind of, but you're applying because it's sorry to interrupt,
no,
but it's like,
fine,
this is a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, you got to take it seriously. So
yeah, I didn't know that we had to like interview. I thought it was something you sign up for and you just show up to like a meeting. But no, it was something that you had to like interview for. They asked you, I don't remember what questions they asked me, I kind of blanked out, but it was Marina who did my interview. And I think the next few days or a week after, like we found out like who was in it and it was like me and like some of my friends. And that was the journey of that. Ever since then, like I was connected to like DVC And then from there, like they wanted us to connect to a program here. So that's when I chose Puente.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll get to that in a moment. So what's your story, sister?
Well, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I grew up kind of thinking, oh, I want to be a vet. I want to be a vet because I loved animals, but I wasn't passionate about it. And I was kind of scared of it all, like the chemistry classes or like the math classes. So I joined a program at YV. It was the Education Academy. And I joined that my sophomore year, and it's kind of like a 3-year program. And they would also encourage us to join like a learning community here. But I obviously joined the Diamante Scholars because of my sister. She's kind of like holding the torch. I'm right behind her. And then I eventually joined Puente as well. And I kind of started from there. And then obviously with the Education Academy, I was put into an internship to work with kids. And then from there, I found a passion of, I want to be a teacher. And then when I got here, I was set on like childhood development, but talking to Maria Dorado, my counselor, I was like, I don't know if I want to do that for the rest of my life. Like I want to branch out and like I have an open mind. And she suggested sociology because I would like tell her my interests, and then she's like, why don't you try doing sociology? I'm like, what's that? And then from there, I'm like so super passionate about it, and I've never been so set on an educational career in my life. So
wow,
I really like it. Yeah.
Okay, so you both talked about Puente, and I hear amazing things about the Puente program. They've got some amazing support. So you're first in the door. So you really kind of didn't know what to expect, and so I'm sure you were standing there yelling at your sister, "Come over here!" Right. So when you first got here, talk a little bit about that. What was it like? Because it had to have been nerve-wracking, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was, and it wasn't because it was at the start of COVID-19. So I didn't have a high school graduation. And my first, I would say the whole time here at DVC was all online. I didn't have in-person classes until like my last semester here at DVC. But coming into Puente, I felt very welcomed. Even though it was like through Zoom, like they encouraged you to like stay active, turn on your camera, like look at everybody's faces. They put us in like little groups, like your familia, so you guys get to like go through the work together. They pair us with like an English professor and a counselor. So mine was Mr. G, and my counselor was Justin Wembes. Both amazing, truly amazing. I feel like they both really helped me navigate my whole time here at DVC, especially my counselor, because I was set on business marketing and I did all my classes for a year. And at the start of my second year, I was like, I don't like my classes. I was like, this is what I want to do, but I don't like my classes. And I had to start thinking about colleges to transfer to. I couldn't find a good variety of colleges. It was like, I didn't know these colleges, or they were far away. It wasn't like, I didn't feel like connected to them. And so I started doing my own research. What major is connected to like marketing, or like I wanted to, like she said, branch out to like different things. I didn't want to stick to like one like career. So I found communication studies, and I searched up like different colleges I can go to, and I found like a bunch: San Jose State, Chico, some schools in LA. So I was like, this is a good variety for me to navigate through. And Mr. Wembes was so helpful. He was like, you can take these classes, like message these professors to let you in. Luckily, they all let me in. And I loved my communication classes. Like that was like the best choice I've ever done. Because when people say like, oh, I just switch careers or like switch majors, and they kind of make it seem like it was a difficult time doing that like shift. But for me, it was pretty easy. I really that's the best choice I've ever done.
Well, and you brought up a good point, and we're going to chat about your career here too in a sec. But one of the things is like, I've had multiple careers. I'm on, just in the last 30 years, my third career. So it's completely different. so that you were already looking ahead and being able to lean into the idea of, well, I can just switch.
Yeah.
Very, very forward thinking. And it's like, so then, let's say you get into a job now, which I've done that. I get into a job. Oh, this is going to be great. And you get in, it's like, oh, wow, this sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
And then go, well, I can always change.
Yeah, because I also looked at jobs I can get with the communications degree, and it was a bunch of things, and I was like, this looks cool too. So I was like, this is perfect because if one thing doesn't work out, I can go to the next.
Yeah. So your sister standing there in the doorway going, come over here, come over here. So what was that? I mean, it must have been, I was going to say easier, but at the same time, we're coming out of COVID. I know that was just kind of a mess for everybody because we were still trying to figure out how do you do anything in all the colleges, and everybody was trying to get back to in person. So what was your high school career like? Because it sounds like part of that was in COVID.
Yeah, my freshman year was pretty normal. We luckily got to be together.
High
She was a senior and I was a freshman.
So did you two hang out while you were in high school a little bit?
We hung out a little bit, and then I started driving.
Oh.
Oh my God.
And then it was just our school rides together, and it was just me okay, bear with me. If I make a mistake, don't tell my mom.
Yeah.
But luckily we arrived to school, we got home in one piece, so that's all that matters.
Nobody died.
Nobody died.
Yeah. We'd go get a sweet treat after school.
Where'd you guys go?
I think one time we went to Jamba Juice.
We would go to Jamba Juice. I feel like that was kind of close.
Yeah.
Boba.
Yeah.
We'd get a lot of good love.
Okay. So you got that first year in high school
Yeah, we got that first
together.
Well, it was a few months because right at the beginning of 2020, so COVID and everything. But we were not close at all. Earlier before high school, we would fight all the time. We didn't want to be around each other, and that experience just made us grow closer. I feel even at DVC here, me coming to her events or me being here right now, our bond just grows. We're stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it feels like, okay. So for clarity, I know that brothers and sisters all fight. I've got kids and they fought. My brother and I fought. And it's but then there's a point where that kind of stops. And it sounds like you had that opportunity for an event where you had a good chance to bond. And now that you're young adults, it's all that kind of stuff is behind you, hopefully. So, so you went to high school for a minute, and then COVID hit.
COVID hit in March 2020. And then everything was shifted online. We're spring break, long spring break. And I didn't really know what it meant. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't think of the worst until they completely switched everything online. And I think the end of my freshman year was just kind of I feel I didn't even go to high school. I feel all the work was obviously the teachers weren't prepared. So it was very last minute. And I feel I had to do very minimal work to finish my freshman year. And then my sophomore year, that's when I had enrolled to the Education Academy before COVID hit. And I found out during COVID that I had gotten in. And then that's when I started the Education Academy during my sophomore year. So it was all the first year was all on Zoom, but it was kind of
talk about that because that had to have been really weird.
It was kind of my sister's experience with Puente through Zoom. They were very encouraging. I think I actually I had a very different experience than my other peers that weren't in an academy, because I would actually engage. I'd turn on my camera, I'd speak, and I slowly felt myself coming out of my little shell. And honestly, it was a good experience for me because they would hold Zoom events all together as all 3 grades as a whole academy, and it kind of felt like a little family. And I kind of got the experience of a learning community. So I knew from my experience with the Education Academy that I wanted kind of the same feeling here at DVC. So I think I got very lucky. But yeah, my sophomore year was all Zoom. And then junior year, I went back and it was very weird because everyone had masks. So I was
so you saw a lot of eyes.
Yeah. And I think we all changed a lot during that time period. So I didn't know who was who. But I think the Education Academy teachers made the best out of it, the whole experience, because my experience was super positive. And everyone was so nice and welcoming, and just I have only good things to say about the academy. And then my senior year, that's when I got put into my internship And then that's when I kind of found
You had an
passion.
internship.
Yeah.
Oh.
At Bancroft Elementary School with the TK class. So instead of going to my first period, I would go to Bancroft Elementary every single morning. And I'm just like so grateful for that experience because that's when I found my passion with like teaching and working with kids. And then from Diamante Scholar, I ended up getting an internship at the Monument Crisis Center that same summer after I graduated. So it was just like, that was like, I was set on like, yes, I want to work with kids and I want to teach them, just like provide a safe environment for them.
Mm-hmm. Going from everything remote to going back to in person was really, and I think people lost a lot of their social skills. And so we were all kind of feral when we showed up, and just not really sure how to interact and stuff like that. I know for me, it was, I was working at a different job and it was rather peculiar because we had people from all over the United States and they had different views on mask or no mask. And then if you wore a mask, they'd have to explain it to you. And it's just like, yeah, all right, but yeah, it was rather odd. So you get through, you actually had a graduation, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Were you a little jealous?
I was a little jealous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was like at the Concord Pavilion and just like it's normal. Like you're with your friends and everything. And for me, like I didn't get we had a drive-through graduation. So like it was like one at a time going on stage, but it was through like alphabetical order. So my friends were like at the Y's and the W's and I was like at the G's, like the beginning. So I didn't really get to see them. So yeah, that was...
I think it's sad because I don't think she got the whole experience because we got to like choose what teacher we wanted to hand our diplomas to us, like on stage.
Yeah, prom.
Yeah. Yeah.
So was your prom remote? I'm laughing because it's painful. I mean, these are...
And they played with our feelings too because like it was a spring break at first, right? And then after they're like, okay, we might have prom. And then they were like, oh, just kidding. Like we can't have prom. So, I mean, I had my dress like hung up in my room too. So it's pretty sad, but...
Well, I know. And I look back on it and I think the biggest problem is nobody knew what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And they had no idea. And so everything was just kind of coming up with the, on the spur of the moment. And, which is okay for like a podcast. That's how most of this has been done. Is just kind of like, okay, I'll figure it out as I go along.
Yeah.
It's a little different when we're talking about, across the state or across the school or something like that. It's just, you can't be quite so spur of the moment, And I mean, you missed your prom. So it's just,
Yeah. I had a junior prom, but
okay.
I feel like senior prom is just more...
Yeah. Do you still have the dress?
I don't. I returned it.
Oh.
And I got store credit and I got like a few outfits.
Okay.
So it's fine.
So you are now here at DVC and you found a wonderful community here. And you're really enjoying it and everything?
I love it. Yeah. I should be excited to transfer because I'm applying this upcoming fall. But I'm like, I don't want to leave it behind because I feel like I'm so comfortable here and everyone's always been super welcoming and I love staying involved and helping the community. But I think I've had a very positive experience because of all of the opportunities I've taken.
So where are you looking at going? And we're not going to hold you into this because it's not up to you. But it's just, in a perfect world, we'll wave a magical wand. Where would you like to end up?
Since high school, Davis has always been my number one. Yeah.
Okay. We have a number of interesting stories from people that went to Davis. Davis is a magnificent school. UC Davis is, they have everything from, if you want to be a veterinarian to being a doctor to being a research person or childhood development or schooling at something like that. So it's a good place to go. So you went on to use to San Jose State, right? Yeah, I knew it wasn't a UC. I'm sorry about that. So you ended up at San Jose State, and how did you like that experience? What was it like there?
I actually commuted, so I didn't live out there. I don't know, like I felt very like homey there in a way. Like I liked the environment. I remember when I was still like deciding on where to go because I had applied to Chico, Sonoma, San Francisco State, and San Jose State, and I got into all of them. So I was like trying to figure out where I wanted to go. During that process, she took a field trip to San Jose State. And I had never gone there before, but she was the first to go. And she was texting me like, this is your vibe. Like, you have to go here. Like, there's a lot of palm trees here. You're going to love it. Like, it kind of gives me LA vibes. Because we love going to LA. So she was like, this is giving me LA vibes. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I do want to go there. And before I decided, we took a family trip there. And we kind of like, we're like, okay, if you were to commute, how would you do it? So we took BART. We took BART there. We figured it out. And I really loved it. I needed a place where it would be sunny because I don't know, I feel like I thrive in like the warm weather. Like, it just like, makes me happy. I took some classes there, but the majority of my classes were online, so I'd be at home. But the classes that I took there, I had a lot of fun. I met a lot of people. For our orientation, the group doesn't like groups with people in our major, and luckily for me, it was a group of girls. And then like they had friends, so we all made a big group and made a group chat and all that type of stuff. But my experience, I feel like sometimes I wish I would have stayed on campus, like to get that full-on college experience. But I was honestly there just to like get my education and like graduate, and like that's it.
Yeah, and in 10 years, it's just like you're dude. But do you still stay in contact with the folks you met there? Yeah, like we followed each other on social media. Like if there's some that haven't graduated yet, but they're gonna graduate soon. We like comment on each other's picture, like send each other a message. But it's great vibes. Yeah. Oh, cool. See, so your sister was like, took the college trip and she goes, oh, you got to go.
Yeah.
So she sold you on.
Yeah. She was like, you have to go here. Like, you're going to love it. And yeah, I did love it. Obviously, like, the area surrounding it, it's a little bit like sad. There's a lot of homelessness around there. And I also had like a volunteer opportunity with like, low income kids that it was like an after school program, and they take them to like it's like a basement in a church. It sounds kind of weird, but it's not. It's like they have a classroom, they get like STEM lessons, so I helped with that. It was for one of my communication classes, and we just talked about like different like social issues around the world and also like in the city. So that was like our experiment, just like having an internship and helping out low-income families. So that was something that I really like doing, and then something that also kind of like opened my eyes in a different like career perspective.
Okay. So we're going to come back to you in a moment.
No worries.
So you graduated from San Jose State.
Yes.
And what was that? So you got to walk.
I got a graduation.
That's right. That's right. So you actually had a graduation. Yes. So woo, yay. So that must have been like doubly awesome because, okay. So, had you been looking for work at that point, or where did you actually end up landing?
So during that time, when I was about to graduate, I was applying to like social media internships, or marketing internships. And I had like interviews here and there. And unfortunately, like they would kind of ghost me. So I didn't find anything.
Wait, go back and repeat that, because we're going to pull that out for all you people that think it's just happening because you're old or something. It's like, yeah.
Yes. Honestly, like when you graduate college or about to graduate college, you're like, I'm going to have a job. Like I'm going to have all these offers like right in front of me. Luckily, a lot of people get that. But there's cases like me where like I apply and like I get an opportunity to interview. I interview and I just don't hear anything back for like weeks. And it's kind of like, do I keep on looking for a job or do I wait for them to get back to me? It's kind of like, you don't know what to do, So that whole summer, I didn't land an internship or a job. Yeah, and like for personal reasons, like I also like wanted to like stay home with my family and help them out a little bit. And it was, I want to say, I went on vacation in like August, and I was like, I need to come back, and like she's gonna start school. and I'm just going to be at home. And I was like, I can't be at home. So I was like, I'm going to have to find a job, like whatever job. And I got a part-time job. So right now I'm currently still there. But I'm still applying to like different places. But I feel like right now I'm in the mindset I'm gonna leave that social media marketing like career like on hold. And I kind of want to go more into like the nonprofit aspect. I really something about me is that growing up I always wanted to help kids, but I didn't want to be a teacher. No offense. But I feel like her personality is very like teacher vibes. Like she's just like you say, chatty Cathy, like she loves all that type of stuff.
This must be driving you nuts. Talking about, okay.
No,
So we're going to get back to you.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, like she, I feel like she'd agree. I'm not like I don't give teacher vibes. Like I can't be a teacher. So I was like, I need like a career like where I can help out the community. I would say like my community, Latino community. So I've been kind of navigating through that. Hopefully something good comes out of that. Because in my head, I was always like, I'm going to get like a tech job and I'm going to make like
$1 million.
Dollars exactly. And then after that, maybe I can open up my own nonprofit. But then right now I'm just like, what? Like I'd probably do like switch it around and like work at a nonprofit. Feel like that always like got my attention.
Okay.
It makes me feel like very like warm. I'm just like I want to change someone's life in a positive way.
So after we're done with this, we're going to chat a little bit more about that because I may know somebody.
Oh.
So yeah. So and we'll come back around, talk a little bit about more of that, what that may look like. So one of the things that you're experiencing is that a lot of times you get an education of something, unless you're going to be a doctor or an engineer, what you end up doing can look dramatically different than what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And even doctors and engineers, sometimes they get to it and they go, oh, I hate this. And they go and they do something else. Yeah. So, I know plenty of people that ended up in human resources, and they have a degree in English literature or something like that.
Yeah, I was very like set and like marketing and everything because I love social media. Like I even have an online portfolio with like all my work. And I would send it out like everywhere, like here. Because that's what I love doing. I love making videos. If I go somewhere like a restaurant or like even like a trip, like I'll make little like clips of it, little things like that. So I feel like for now, I might just keep that as a hobby. Like I'll still keep on doing that, build up my portfolio. For like one day, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're hunting for a nonprofit. Anybody that's in the nonprofit field, reach out to me. We'll put you in contact. So you've completed a year here at DVC and you're loving it and you don't want to fly outside of the cocoon, do you?
No.
So, but you're like bracing yourself for having to go and do that. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're thinking about UC Davis and you're thinking about education for becoming a teacher. My daughter's a teacher and she loves it most days, but it's like any job. You love it most days. Have you always been drawn to being a teacher or it's just kind of it's like in your bones or?
Honestly, no. Like growing up, like I remember there's one of my peers in elementary school, we were like talking about what we wanted to do. I was like, oh, I want to be a vet. And that's the reason why I wanted to go to Davis at first. And then I remember she told me, oh, I want to be a teacher. And I was like, teacher? You're going to do this for what? So I think that's always been in the back of my head. Like, I would have wanted to, I just think teachers they're very strong. Just like dealing with like kids every day. I feel like it's such a handful. And that's always what I had in my head until I joined the Education Academy. And I joined it not even wanting to become a teacher, but just like the community and like having like people that I know in my classes. And the first year we spent it kind of like learning. The second year we kind of learn how to like apply that to certain situations and learning by like the teacher system. And then the third year where we actually like had to like take on an internship, I feel like that changed everything for me because I did spend like those 3 out of 4 years of high school like I don't know if I want to be a teacher, but until I actually worked in the classroom, I was like, okay, like this is what I want to do. And I still left my internship kind of like I don't know if I want to work with kids or not. And then the teacher that I worked with told me to like, you're natural with the kids. Like, I think you should really consider it. And I think just working at the Monument Crisis Center during my internship, I think that kind of changed everything for me too. And I still continue to go back to the Monument Crisis Center as a tutor because they have like a teen center. And I always wanted to work with like smaller age groups, like kindergarten, because that's what I was used to. But when they put me with the middle schoolers, I was like, I'm kind of scared. They're going to bully me. But no, I honestly love it. I love helping them out. And I love like hearing about their days at school and everything. So I don't know. I think it's very rewarding. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, my daughter actually does PE for middle schoolers, and I think that's a wretched bunch of kids. I mean, it's really. I remember it being an ugly time in my life, and I think most kids, it's tough.
Yeah.
But well, it sounds like you've got a good path. Now let's talk for a moment. We've talked a little bit about Puente and the wonderful support they got. You got some great support even before you got out of high school from the Learning Academy. Is that what it was?
Education
Academy, which I think that's a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah.
You're both Diamante scholars, and you talked a little bit about that. How did you? I mean, other than your sister's like waving her arm, going, "Come over here, sit at my table," right? I mean, is that what drew you to it to apply for it, or?
I think so. Yeah, I remember one time they came into one of my Education Academy classes, and I was kind of like iffy. Like I was like, I know she's gonna make me sign up anyway, so I'm gonna join it. And but it wasn't until I saw like they used her picture on the slideshow, and I remember I kind of tuned it out a little bit. Like I was like kind of sitting in the corner, and then my friend goes, "Isn't that your sister?" And I'm like. And then I look at her picture, I'm like, wow, and she didn't even know I had to send her a picture. And I think that moment I was like, I could be like her, my picture could be up there next time. No, but I just like seeing her, how she like took it on and like no one kind of told her to, and like it all worked out for her. I think that's what kind of inspired me too. But even in my senior year of high school, I didn't know if I wanted to go to DVC. I was still kind of like iffy about it. Like I know I didn't want to apply straight to a 4-year because I didn't want to like leave home at like I don't think I was ready for it. And where was I going with that? Oh, I had been applying to like or looking for like cosmetology schools because I was like, I don't know if school is for me. Like I got good grades and everything, but I didn't really feel the passion. And I don't know, I wasn't very excited about it, but through the Education Academy, I had already had credits for DVC. So I'm like, you know what? Like I kind of got my foot in the door. Like let's see what it's all about. And I just honestly don't regret it. I think it was the best choice for me. But yeah, I think she was kind of my inspiration a little bit.
Well, I'd say even indirectly, she gave you pressure to apply because her picture was up there. Oh, she's going to make me do it.
Yeah.
Well, she saw a whole process too. Like, since it was during COVID, we were both like right next to each other, like doing our school stuff. So she kind of saw like a preview of it, especially like if she were to apply like the summer before going to DVC. It's like we had summer classes, like career classes with Diamante. I also got an internship through them as well with Dreamers Roadmap. It was more like a marketing internship. So she kind of saw like how things can get moving and everything before you start your first year at DVC. So I feel like that also like kind of helped out a lot. Just us being right next to each other during COVID.
Yeah.
So she was really going through class with you.
Yeah, in a way, yeah, because she would hear my my Puente classes.
Yeah, I remember hearing Mr. G through Zoom.
And then Mr. G ended up being her professor for English. So she was like, I know what you're going to go through. Yeah.
So you're like, oh, it's snap.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
So and actually that was good because you had a chance to in kind of an indirect way go through it twice. And I almost never get anything the first time on Douglas Box of Hammers. So it's just like,
me too.
It's just, well, I doubt that, but it's like oftentimes I find it better for me to go through it more than once. And so I'll sometimes repeat something just because, it makes my wife crazy because I'll make her eventually repeat things because I probably wasn't paying attention the first time. But anyways, well, Anything you want to add to this? Because I mean, I'm so excited about having you two in here. It's just like this is going to be so cool, and I'm sure you're very excited. And I am going to see about it if I can hook you up with somebody when we're all done with this. Any last words or excitement or inspiration for others that maybe don't have a sister to precede them?
I just feel like you have to put yourself out there. I mean, I'm such an introvert person, and I was very shy, like in high school. Like my friends would be very involved in like different things, and I really wasn't because I didn't like being out there. I don't like the spotlight, but I was like, I need to get it together. Like if I want a career, like I had to like speak up for it because no one's gonna help you. Like, no one's gonna like see you struggling for help if you're not showing it. So I was like, and my parents used to tell me too, like you need to ask for help. And I feel like as a first generation, like their first child of immigrants, like I kind of had to like figure out everything on my own. And I figured everything out like with no help. But then it comes to a point, like, for example, you're going to college, you kind of need help. So I was like scared to ask for help. I was like, I don't know. Like, I feel like asking for help is kind of like a sign of weakness. In my head, that's what I thought. But it's really not. Like, honestly, like, just speaking out, asking for help could like open so many doors for you, and like you can find different opportunities. So I feel like when my Spanish teacher told us that there's going to be someone coming in from DVC, I was like, girl, like you need to stay, like sacrifice your lunchtime and like stay. And I did. And I feel like that really just opened the door for everything after that. Honestly, the Diamante Scholars really helped out a lot during my experience here at DVC. And then like they led me to the Puente program, which was like,
and actually, I almost forget, and Peter would be mad at me if I didn't mention this. So I just like to realize as you're going through life, like, oh my gosh. So how, again, I mean, Peter has really good judgment on this. So it's just like, Peter Zabol is our foundation chair, just for anybody that's, doesn't know. And he's very, very passionate about Diamante, and I'm sure he's very excited about the both of you because, I mean, I don't know how many sister combos we have, or sibling combos, but he suggested or talked to you about being on the foundation board, which is not like something where you get to phone it in. It's a deal, and you get to sit in with some like I'm sure you're sitting there going, well, why am I here? But you deserve it. But talk a little bit about that. How did that come about?
So big shout out to Peter. He actually reached out to me after I graduated college just to like see where I was career wise. And he connected me with some people. And we'd have like Zoom meetings, and we talked about like different things, ways that I can like network with people or like message people through LinkedIn, because it's kind of hard to like physically go out and like network with people. So you kind of like in this day and age, like you have to like reach out through LinkedIn. So he really helped me a lot with that. And then during one of our meetings, he was like, how would you like to like be on the board? He was like, we need like young voices in our board. And he had mentioned that he talked about it to the board as well. And so I was like, yeah, that'd be like great. Cause like I'm at that point where I'm taking any opportunity, like even if it's like anything, like to go like table or help out like at an event, like I'll be like, yes, like I'll go. So I was like, this would be like great. I can like network with people. And then we left it at that. And then after he was like, okay, like here's the link to apply. Like this is what you're going to expect. And then I got in and I attended my first board meeting. So yeah, like you said, I was kind of like, what am I doing here? Like these are like people with big jobs, and they're like, then there's me, like, like, I don't know, like I in my head, I'm still young, but I'm like not young at the same time. I'm aging and stuff like that. So I'm just like, this is going to be like things I need to get used to and like open myself up to, because just networking right now is just the key, like putting yourself out there. So that's what I'm doing.
Good.
Yeah, yes.
Well, and one of the things that it took me a long time to figure this out because I don't have the big degree that a lot of these people, like you see on the board, I mean, they've got masters, and I mean, Peter's got, his from MIT. He was a DVC alum also.
Yeah, yeah.
But he went to MIT, and I mean, I used to work for guys that have Harvard MBAs, and it could be very intimidating.
Yeah.
But I had learned that if somebody asks me to step up, it usually means that they see something in me that I may not be aware of.
Yeah.
So it's just, so you're here for a reason.
Yeah.
So don't,
Yeah, when he offered that, I was like, I feel like he wouldn't offer it to like XYZ person. Like he had a reason why he like chose me to be on the board. So I'm very grateful for that. And I'm very excited. Still new to this, so still learning.
Yeah.
But I really like the work that the foundation like does and everything. And like attending that scholarship ceremony last week, I was very like inspired. I was like, I loved hearing people's stories. So that's also like what switched my mindset to like helping out others. Like maybe that's what I like doing. Like that's my calling.
Well, and one of the things, and I know the foundation board doesn't hear about this. Well, they're about to, because I think everybody on the foundation board does listen to this, but it is like our foundation is becoming across the state of California kind of a model for a lot of things we do, whether it's the Alumni Association, because I get regular communication. Oh my gosh, I want to talk to you about what you've been doing with the Alumni Association, about other principles that we do as far as activities we do with the, how we continue to, do campaigns, the work that Tom Martin has done, things like that. And Jim has been he's kind of the glue that holds us all together. He's kind of like, got to keep us, people from running off in all sorts of directions. But it is amazing. And this is a lot of the insight that Peter and the board have. It's really quite incredible that we have continued to build a reputation as far as somebody to look at as far as this is how we're doing it.
Yeah.
So and you get to be part of that. How exciting is that?
It's very exciting. Yeah. Cause I don't know, just coming back with her and seeing her and her peers, like I was like, I want to see this. Like I want to see them grow. And I thank her for giving me the opportunity to like go to these events with her. Because if it wasn't for me going to these events, I would have never gotten connected back to Peter or Marina or like even Mr. G. Like he asked me to go in and talk to his students. So that's like, if it wasn't for her, I feel like I wouldn't even be associated with DVC. So I really feel like big props to her. Yeah.
So I have a feeling she's quite the connector.
She is.
Yeah. So talk about that a little bit. I was loving on your sister for a minute. So talk a little bit about that, because you seem like I don't want to use the term social butterfly because I think that's got a negative connotation. But you seem like you're very focused on getting connected and building a community around you. I mean, that seems to be a lot of who you are. And part of it is like you go off to some place that, your sister hadn't even have on her radar, and you go, oh, girlfriend, you got to go over here. Right. But talk a little bit about that. Like what you do is like, as far as building are you even aware of it, or?
I don't know. I kind of just I love taking on any opportunity. And I think as I go through my experiences, I think the Monument Crisis Center definitely inspired me a lot. Just giving back to the community. And then Puente, obviously, they always push us to go and volunteer and take any opportunity or any volunteer opportunity. I'd be there. I'd be there tabling. I'd go around my schedule just to be there. And I think we learn a lot about what our community has gone through these past couple of decades and everything, and just his history behind it. And I think it's such a blessing to be here getting an education. And I think I just want to help other people and kind of guide them through that, because I was thankfully guided, but I want to do that for someone else as well. And yeah, I think it's just wonderful. I think it's really rewarding just giving back to the community and staying involved. And obviously, from one connection, you grow another one. And I think Puente has just been very influential with that. And I just got an opportunity. It was I'm an Latinx Alliance officer as well. And I just would have never imagined that I would be a part of that. So I think you go little by little.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm a huge believer in networking because all the jobs I've ever gotten that I loved and I stayed at for a while, I've gotten because of somebody I knew. And you always get that through your network.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you never know where it's going to come from. I mean, I got this one because of someone I knew, the previous job, but, and it's really about creating that continuing networking and nurturing that network. So I think we're going to wrap it up. We have a few more things afterwards that we're going to chit chat about. I got some stuff for you and maybe I'll give you a shirt. I think I've got some alumni shirts, so you get some swag out of it. But I want to thank you so much for coming in. This has been a lot of fun. I'm hoping it was fun for you guys.
Yeah, it's like,
And we'll see where it goes from there.
yeah. Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you
us.
for having
You
us.
bet.
Thank you for tuning in to DVC Alumni, where every story inspires the next, the podcast for the DVC Alumni Association. You can contact us at alumni@dvc.edu with any comments, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe to our podcast.